Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Aina Kweyo. In the news tonight, Namibia College of Open Learning Chief Executive Officer Dr. Harold Murangi says the institution is excited for the partnership with the Namibia Investment Promotion Development Board and Cornad Stiftung. They launch micro, small and medium enterprise digital boot camps to empower Namibian entrepreneurs. Murangi says the initiative will make a great difference in the lives of local Namibians, including some of NAMCO students who are also entrepreneurs. Have a look.
Our slogan is taking education to the people, and we refer to ourselves as the People's College. That's why we are deep in Katutura while other institutions are in town, because we believe we must be closer to our people. We are very excited by this initiative from NIPDB with the support from CAS. I think it's an initiative that will make a difference in the lives of our people. And I believe through this initiative, we'll also be able to benefit some of our students who are entrepreneurs. We are sitting with a student population of around 35,000 across the country. And the majority of these people are not people with high degrees. These are people who have started their own businesses to make a living. And I think it's high time that we upskill them using technology for them to be able to make a difference in their lives. And the fact that they are operating within the communities also to make a difference within the communities. I know you are referring to 70 micro, small and medium enterprises, but if you take that number and multiply with the number of people they employ, with the community they will save, I think you will be able to reach hundreds and hundreds of Namibians. And I think we should really commend you for this initiative. We are committed to the task because we believe in excellence. We believe that whatever we do should be to the satisfaction of our customers. I should acknowledge really the inputs and the contribution from my colleague Philip. He came with an agreement. I was a bit hesitant and I said, how did you get to them? Normally we sign this small agreement. How did you get to those people? No. I asked him, is this the reality? So I'm really glad that you are going to work with a very dedicated staff member of NAMCO. I know this is the beginning for Ochuarongo, Rundu and Ogwediva. We are about to set up infrastructure in Katima Mulilo. We have computer centers in Enana. We have computer centers in Opuo, Hobabes. We want to expand to Kietno and Slope. We are busy with huge construction in Walvis Bay. So the purpose is really to go closer to the people. And I believe together we should embark on this exciting journey of digital transformation and empowering entrepreneurs to strive in a digital.
Agriculture Minister Carl Schleitwein says Namibia could compel mining companies to do more beneficiation in Namibia to ensure minerals exported and more revenue. Schleitwein made the comment at the U.S. Africa Business Summit currently underway in Gaborone, Botswana. I think we should move away from the concept that miners are not good value adders. In fact, we must force them to become value adders, Schleitwein told a panel at the summit. The suggestion was, however, shot down by First Rent Namibia CEO Conrad Dempsey, who said Namibia did not lend itself to beneficiation in certain industries such as gold and copper mining industries. If you take our our copper industry or our gold industry. Our total production is just too small to justify the cost of putting up a refinery and get into end-state refined gold, Dempsey said. Namibia could, however, re-import gold and copper already refined and seek means to value addition. He said it's not unusual to re-import and do further processing. The Chamber of Mines of Namibia has in the past supported moves by the government to ask for local value addition in the mining sector. The measure taken by the government do not inhibit the valuable work being done by companies in Namibia that intend to establish mining operations and processing facilities, the Chamber of Mines of Namibia has previously said. Moving over to our next story. When it comes to the Namibian speed limit, NAMPOS is above the law. At least that is what 6 NAMPOS employees who are currently under suspension are claiming. The 5 employees currently under suspension at NAMPOS claim that NAMPOS forces its drivers to drive past the speed limit to deliver goods faster. This is not a new thing since we started. They have been forcing us. They have focused more on the output and the fast delivery instead of our safety and the law, said Konjeni Haikela. The employees further stated that they received verbal instruction from their fleet manager in September 2018 to drive 115 kilometers per hour instead of the legal speed limit of 80 kilometers per hour. Now, following this verbal instruction, the employees petitioned against the instruction and their cries fell on deaf ears. We just want to expose what is going on at NAMPOS, he said. According to Haikela, the drivers who decided to abide by the law were accused of intentionally delaying cargo, and this is what then led to their suspension. Unfair treatment. We asked the manager to see the footage that proves that we were driving below the speed limit, and the manager said that the footage deletes itself after 8 days, said Cendric Scraver. Now this, he added, was irrelevant as they requested the footage only a day after the actual recording. Moving over to our next story. About 2 years ago, Ali Rain started the ARK Rescue and Rehabilitation Welfare Organization for Pets in Omaruru. This is the only such animal welfare organization which caters for domestic animals in Omaruru, Karibeb, and Usakos. What sets them apart from others is that they focus on rehabilitation of animals rather than just on the rehoming. There is a case of Walnut, a little puppy they received which was covered in glue and which was severely mishandled. Walnut has recovered from his trauma and now gets spoiled by his new owners. There are currently 60 cats and dogs at the ARK who are looking for a loving forever home. Let's have a look.
2 jaar gelede het Ellie Ryan in Omaruru the Ark Rescue and Rehabilitation Center gestig vir troeteldiere, hoofsaaklik vir troeteldiere wat mishandel is, wat kanker het, sodat hulle soontoe opgeneem kan word en dan word hulle gerehabiliteer. Dit is ook wat die Ark dan uiteenset van gewone dierebeskermingsverenigings, dat hulle is nie net daar om klein hondjies in te neem en weer 'n huis vir hulle te soek nie. Hulle rehabiliteer honde en katte. Hulle het byvoorbeeld in die einde van Januarie 'n survivor, 'n klein breinhondjie gekry wat heeltemal amper verhongerd was en wat binne 'n week of 2 sou gevrek het as hulle hom nou nie gekry het nie. En hulle het 6 maande gevat om die hond te rehabiliteer. Hy het bosluiskoors gehad om hom gesond te kry. En
in our Story of the Day segment, Capricorn Foundation's Food Waste Challenge winners are announced after the break.
This is Africa. Good morning.
My name is Aina Raizakwaya alongside Diana Master.
in the ANC conference in December. So starting off with the cycling.
Africa, good morning. Do have a lovely...
Minister Monica Mchangwa has said that
with the soccer, the English Premier League continued, the biggest game being...
On that note, it is all our love, all our light. In our Story of the Day segment, the Capricorn Foundation today announced Ndasilohenda Katangolo Nakashwa of the Ndalindali Farm in Opuo as the 2023 Capricorn Foundation Food Waste Challenge overall winner and recipient of a 100,000 Namibian dollars cash prize from the Capricorn Foundation, a brand package valued at 50,000 Namibian dollars from Synergy, and 6-month mentorship and coaching provided by Business Box Venture. This announcement follows the pitches made by the top 5 finalists on the 22nd of June to a panel of judges in the Eagles Den at Capricorn Group's head office. Have a look.
So, colleagues, today really I'm so honored to share some of my remarkable successful stories of how I end up being in this room with good people, good innovators, smart head and mind, who really have the skills, the passion, just to drive and ensure that Namibian nation, we don't go hungry.
If you are chosen as the winner, what would that financial injection mean to you?
Hey, I have to tell you something. Currently, we are manually cutting those.
Wow.
veggies, and it's time, it's energy, but it will mean a whole lot of change in terms of our processes, because the first thing we are thinking is to buy actually a cutter and a dryer.
Okay.
So have to have that price, and I think it will just make it will really just have a huge impact on our in terms of growth now and where we want to be.
Last mid-year on the 23rd of June, when we had the 5 teams that were selected as the top 5 finalists, standing here in front of a panel of 5 judges, sharing their business plans. The ask was, how can they create or expand a social enterprise to address the issue of food waste, but also to create employment. That aspect of employment creation was the difference between last year's challenge and this year's challenge.
In our Community Talk segment, Brent Brokerage handed over a grand prize after the break.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master. Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
Brand Brokerage handed over a grand prize of 57,500 Namibian dollars towards the Justice for Animal Trust. Here is more.
My name is Renala Vies. I'm one of the trustees of the Justice for Animals Trust. The aim of the trust is to promote animal welfare by way of the legal system. And we've been doing this now for the past 2 years, and in particular the CrossFit community has given us a lot of support. This year was the 2nd annual CrossFit Justice for Animals charity throwdown, and we are deeply indebted to CrossFit Windhoek and all the other sponsors for the contributions in this regard.
My name is Colin Bester. I'm the CEO of Brand Plan Advertising and Brand Brokerage Investments. We are a major sponsor of this initiative. We feel very strong to be part of a drive like this. You know, communities evolve, and that involvement, we need to change our ways in doing things, and we feel that our involvement can help to highlight this change that we need to bring about in our communities, and Justice for Animals is the perfect vehicle to sponsor and help to bring about change around our behavior with animals.
I would just like to highlight one of the projects that we are currently busy with is the Justice for Dalton project and petition, which has been making news lately. And I would encourage people to visit our Facebook page, follow our Facebook page, Instagram page, and keep the hashtag Justice for Dalton alive, and also go and sign the petition if you haven't done so. It's not one of those petitions where you just sign and nothing's going to happen. From a legal perspective, we actually need the data to make out a case for the declaration of animals as sentient beings. In other words, beings that have feelings and emotions. And we intend to bring legal process to have animals legally recognized as such. Specifically, animals are considered property in Namibia, but we make out the argument that animals are more than just property. I mean, if you kick your table, maybe your foot gets hurt. But if you kick your dog gets hurt, and that's the difference. Animals are a special type of property, and they are deserving of legal protection in terms of those rights emanating from their being. So, hashtag Justice for Dalton.
Economic news coming up shortly. In our economic news tonight, India, the world's biggest rice shipper, is considering banning exports of most rice varieties, a move that may send already lofty global prices of food stable higher as the disruptive El Nino weather pattern returns. The ban will affect about 80% of India's rice exports. While the move may lower domestic prices, it risks sending global costs even higher. Rice is a staple for about half of the world's population, with Asia consuming about 90% of the global supply. India is South Africa's second biggest supplier of rice. Now let's have a look at our economic indicators, proudly brought to you by Bank Windhoek. The Namibian dollar trades at 23 Namibian dollars 49 cents to the British pound and 20 Namibian dollars 8 cents to the euro. Gold increased by 0.03% as well as platinum by 2.40%, while copper dropped by 0.06%. We'll take a look at our international news shortly. Here is the international news for tonight. Britain's approach to the national security threat posed by China is completely inadequate, with too much focus on short-term economics rather than long-term risk, and parliamentary committee said earlier today. China uses its extensive state intelligence service to target Britain and its interests. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has come under pressure from some lawmakers in his ruling Conservative Party to take a tough stance with China, but he has tried to walk a difficult line, saying the West should not decouple from Beijing. Have a look.
During our inquiry, the committee found that the level of resource dedicated to tackling the threat posed by China's approach has been completely inadequate. Moreover, until recently, our agencies did not recognize that they had any responsibility for countering Chinese interference activity in the UK, focusing instead on covert activity. Chinese intelligence services target the UK and its interests prolifically and aggressively. But China's whole-of-state approach means that Chinese state and non-state-owned companies, as well as academic and cultural establishments and ordinary Chinese citizens, are also liable, willingly or unwillingly, to be co-opted into espionage and interference operations. It's clear that China has taken advantage of the policy of successive British governments to boost economic ties, and this has handed China a strategic advantage. China has been buying up and seeking to control or influence the UK's industry and civil nuclear energy sectors, and the government has been readily accepting Chinese money with few questions asked.
After the break, we take a look at the sports package, courtesy of Sports Rep.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
New face to the 15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Good evening and welcome to Sports Wrap for Sunset News. In our first story, despite the cold front hitting Namibia over the past few days, the Momentum Namibia Youth Rugby Invitational Tournament at Windhoek High School's Vegkop Stadium has been a great success. In the latest round of matches on Wednesday, we first saw Windhoek High School winning 62-0 against South Daman High School from Uppington. In match number 2 at the Momentum Namibia Youth Rugby Invitational Tournament, the touring team of HTS Middelburg stormed to a 44-7 win against HTS Windhoek that took them to the top of the log. Now, Windhoek Affis won a tightly contested match on Wednesday evening, beating the UXI Western Province Rugby Academy by 21 points to 15. The player of the match was Walter Otto, who played at flank for Windhoek Affis. Those have been our sports stories.
Thank you for watching our show tonight. Here are the highlights. Namibia College of Open Learning Chief Executive Officer Dr. Harold Morangi says the institution is excited for the partnership with the Namibia Investment Promotion Development Board and the Conrad Stiftung. Agriculture Minister Karl Schleitwein says Namibia should compel mining companies to do more beneficiation in Namibia to ensure minerals exported and more revenue. Despite the cold front hitting Namibia over the past few days, the Momentum Namibia Youth Rugby Invitational Tournament at Windhoek High School Vegkop Stadium has been a great success. And with that, we've come to the end of tonight's broadcast. Please do make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook, on all NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, which is called Oneuptwo. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285, as well as GoTV 25 in Namibia every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. Please don't end your day without us. Good night.